welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today's tip is a good one, and it has to do with how do you prevent backlashes on your bait casting reel. You know, the bait casting reel is such a good tool in our sport. It allows you to get baits way back under trees. It allows you to use heavier baits, heavier line. It's an efficient tool, but it's an intimidating reel for a lot of people out there. For beginners specifically, they really want to shy away from a bait caster because they have this envision of giant bird's nests coming out of the reel. It doesn't have to be that way, guys. It's not that hard. The biggest key to preventing backlashes is to know how to tune the reel properly and to understand the reel. You know, most reels that are on the market have a couple of different braking systems within that reel. And that's what makes it such a good tool, because you can really fine tune them well to get the peak performance out of them. So I want to go over that today. I want to show you how to do that. You know, there's a couple of tips, and all reels are a little bit different. But like I said, most will either have one braking system, or the higher end reels will probably have two braking systems. This is an Abu Garcia Revo MGX, one of my favorite reels. It is a little bit more on the high end, and it does have two separate braking systems. But most reels, or all reels, will come with at least one braking system. So we're gonna get into that right now. So the first thing that you wanna do when you get a new bait cast reel out of the box, if you're just starting with it completely new, you wanna tune it based on the bait you're using. So in this case, this is a Dirty Jigs casting jig. I've got a Berkley Pit Boss 3-inch on the end, is a trailer. So the baits are all gonna weigh something different. So in this case, I've reeled it up to the end of my line, as you can see. Then I'm gonna go to the first braking system, which is, in this case, it's a centrifugal braking system. It's this dial right here next to your drag. I'm gonna tighten it to the right, all the way, tighten it all the way. In that case, you can see my bait's still there. I'm gonna hit my, engage my reel, and you see my bait doesn't fall at all. That's because the brake is so tight. So I'm gonna take the dial, the brake dial, and slightly loosen it so that the bait will just start falling on its own. So the reel is engaged, it's dropping, it hits the bottom, and my reel stops. I don't have any backlash. That's about the right rate of fall. The next thing I'm gonna do, if you do have a reel that's got, you know, like this is a magnetic braking system, on the other side, you'll see that there's a minimum and maximum. If you turn that to all the way to max, now you've turned the magnetic brake all the way on as well. So in this case, the two different brakes have two different ways they kick in, I guess. So the first brake, the centrifugal brake, is meant more to control on the first half of the cast. So when you come back and whip into that cast, that's where this brake comes in. The magnetic brake really comes into play at the end of the cast. So when the bait's falling and slowing, the magnetic brake kicks in and helps that slow. So if I've got the two, you know, basically tuned in, so right now I've got the centrifugal brake all the way on, so that when my bait hits the bottom, it'll stop when it hits the ground without a backlash. And I'm controlling now the end of my cast. I've got the maximum magnetic brake on. If I go to make a cast and it stops, I never even thumbed it, and I got no backlash. So that is the place where everyone should start with whatever bait you're throwing. So you're gonna have to change that if you change baits. Once you get that down, then I wouldn't necessarily change the centrifugal brake first. I'd go to the magnetic and start loosening that from max to, you know, mid power, a few clicks down, and that will then allow you to get a little bit more distance. You'll have to play it a little bit with your thumb, but basically you're just letting the spool ride on your thumb. That's it. So that's really what it comes down to. Once you feel really comfortable at each level, you can loosen the brakes just a little bit at a time to really increase your casting distance and to maybe increase your ability to skip under a dock. But that's where you guys should start. If somebody is having trouble with backlashes, that's a great beginning place to help you really prevent those backlashes so that you can learn your reel and get comfortable with it. Now that's the tip of the day, but I want to tell you guys that if you click right here, tomorrow's video is going to show you how to get backlashes out without damaging your line and doing it efficiently. So if you want to see that as well, click right there and we'll get into it.